What's up, guys? This is going to be a quick off-the-cuff video. I'm not going to be really just showing any cube examples or anything like that. I just want to talk a bit about pseudo-slotting and more specifically why I think it has a lot of potential. So for those of you who don't know, Timon, the Polish boy wonder, he's been getting some pretty nice results recently in 3x3, and more on the unofficial side of things, he's been developing pseudo-slotting a lot. And the way he's doing it is he's basically got like 4 sets of F12. You've got your like normal F12. This would be another set of F12 pairs, all these pairs down here on blue. This would be another set, and this would be another set. So what you get is a bunch of F12 pairs that don't really look like a whole much of anything. So, you know, the big downside is recognition, but there are a lot of upsides. So for one thing, it turns cases that would normally be kind of crappy into good ones, and a good example of that is anytime you have 2 F12 pairs left in a solve, and one of the 4 pieces is solved. Now, sometimes you can do a good keyhole insert, but other times pseudo-slotting can really shine here, where you just solve, let's say if you've got one edge solved and the other 3 F12 pieces are missing, you solve maybe the corner for the other slot in 3 moves, and then you just do a D-turn and do a pseudo-slot for the end. And there's other examples I can think of. Basically, it gives you a lot more ways to deal with cases that are otherwise usually a bit more restricted. So you can turn cases that would normally be bad for CFOP into better cases. Now, this is a bit of a tangent, but in regards to, say, something like method neutrality, the reason I haven't been a big fan of method neutrality, at least the way some people are promoting it, is because with CFOP, Roux, and ZZ, which are the big 3 at the moment, scrambles that are good for Roux are generally good for CFOP, and scrambles that are good for CFOP are, you know, probably okay for Roux. And then similar with ZZ, scrambles that are good for ZZ aren't necessarily bad for, you know, CFOP and Roux. Basically, there's just not enough of a real difference between the methods to, you know, justify getting good at all 3 methods when a good scramble for one method is, at the very least, a decent one for the others. Now, take something like 3-style, for example, you know, the blind method. A lot of blinders, they will do, you know, 3-style in their official solves because they can do it as faster or as fast as CFOP, and it's more comfortable for them. I think people who use 3-style as a secondary method are doing method neutrality better than people trying to do CFOP and Roux, or CFOP and ZZ, or ZZ and Roux, because scrambles that are good for 3-style are generally trash for any of the big 3 methods. You know, having solved corners and small little cycles of pieces is actually kind of annoying to deal with any of those methods. Whereas with 3-style, those sorts of scrambles can be amazing. They could be like 7, 8 algorithms if you use intelligent floating and, you know, good 2+2 swap algorithms and things like that. Now, pseudo-slotting, similar to 3-style in the sense that a scramble that's good for pseudo-slotting isn't necessarily good for CFOP. And because the methods are very similar, so, you know, there's not... Learning pseudo-slotting as a CFOP solver is a lot easier than learning Roux or learning ZZ as a CFOP solver. And it has the benefit of making scrambles that would otherwise be bad for CFOP are good for pseudo-slotting. So it ticks those boxes real nicely. I've already talked about how you get more options with the F12, and I guess I'll talk more specifically about some of the options you might get. For one thing, you can get different F12 pairs because you can just change where the D layer is. But there's another thing that you can take advantage of that normal CFOP doesn't really have. And you can do what I like to call 4+4 inserts, where basically you use a 3 to 4 move insert to solve a random edge, and then do a 3 to 4 move insert to solve a random corner. Now, the thing with CFOP and F12 is most of the F12 cases, they're going to be around the 7 to 8, maybe 9 move ballpark, assuming, you know, it's a decent, reasonable case. And then your exceptional good cases will be more in like the 5 to 6 move range, but they don't come up all the time. So basically, you have a way of getting more of these, you know, 7 to 8, 9 move F12 cases, and the way you deal with them is actually unique and something that you can't really do with normal CFOP. So that opens the door for like influencing pairs and just all sorts of things, you know, more options. So you're already getting more options in terms of normal F12, and now you're getting options in terms of, you know, something that we don't even really do to solve F12 pairs. You know, you don't really see someone just doing a 3 to 4 move beginner corner insert and then a 3 to 4 move beginner edge insert or vice versa. But with pseudo slotting, it's actually pretty good. So those are the main reasons I have at the moment. Obviously, recognition is a big hurdle, and that's something I'm kind of working on now. I'm trying to get good at doing on-the-fly pseudo F2L. Who knows where this is going to go? I know Timon is already attempting to switch to the method completely. I'm not so convinced that the full method, just doing full pseudo slotting, is the way to go. I think it's going to really change the game for inspection, and the stuff you can inspect with pseudo slotting is pretty damn amazing. But on the fly pseudo F2L, at the moment I'm really bad at it, and I think Timon still finds it a bit slower than normal CFOP. But if you can start planning both pairs in inspection, then doing 2 pseudo pairs on the fly might not be that bad. Again, it's too early to really say where the method's going to go, but those are my main reasons at the moment why I think it has a lot of potential. So have a think about that. Let me know in the comments what you think.